So in this video, we are going to create a 3D sketch of an ATV, or we can say a BAJA vehicle. So firstly, what we will be making will look like this at the end. So we will now just close it and open a new file. An ATV is also a type of car. So car has length, width, and height. So we will proceed it, and we will eventually came up at the end. So for this, for making the sketch of this, we will start directly from pressing the button of 3D sketch. Now we have got a 3D space in front of us. Now we will open the top plane and we will make some reference lines. So this will be the front of our vehicle. It should be in around the longitudinal axis. This is going to be along this point. Now we will dimension it as let us say we will make a full one-on-one scale model of the 3D sketch of the ATV. So we will take the dimensions which are in inches, in because those are the length and width are very much high. So we cannot take their dimension, their unit in mm. So we will use inches. So this is the length of the track width. So we will just give it around 52 inches. Similarly on the back, this line is a fully defined line. We'll make it for construction. We will equal them as it is the rear of the vehicle, and we will just make it along the longitudinal axis, along z axis, which is we will make the sides of the car and we will give relations and dimension to them also. They will be equal and they will be having a wheelbase of around 55 inches and it will be at a distance of around midpoint to the origin, and it needs to be along a x-axis. So see, now our sketch is fully defined. So we will now make a reference circles which will represent the tires, and the radius will be of 11 inches. We are required to make 4 lines. We are making the radius of the tires. Now the next thing which we will be doing is we'll add relation to all these 4 lines and make them equal, and we will dimension them around 10 inches or say 11 inches. Now we will choose the circle and we will hit this point and drag the circle outward towards this point while in the side view. We'll do it again. Again, we will do it for all the lines. Remember, we will be able to do this in the side view. So now we have created these 4 circles which represent the tires of our vehicle. We will make them for construction, as they will just give a look to our 3D sketch. Now we will just give the length to our vehicle. This will be the front axle and this will be the rear axle. It is basically a layout. So we will now proceed towards the front end and back end of our vehicle. Let us say our vehicle will be around 18 inches forward from the front axle. Let us say 450 mm, where we can use precise units. We can use it, and similarly we can use it at the back also. Let us say 400 mm. Now we will begin with let us this line will represent the ground clearance at the front, so let us give it around 16 inches, yes. And at the rear it should be around 12 inches, as it is ATV. It will go on rough terrains where there will be bigger rocks, so it needs higher ground clearance in order to avoid heavy bumps, large bumps and heavy rocks, in order to avoid contact from the underbody of the car. We can join these lines so it can create a underbody for our car, for our which we are sketching. Now we will take the sketched line, and we will make a line along the z-axis. As we can see this imaginary infinite line, it means that the line that which we want to create is along the z-axis, means it is horizontal. So if we try to drag it up and down, it will not happen, as the line is defined to move in this axis only. Now we will give it a dimension, let us say 10 inches. Now we will again make a reference line, and we will just fix it, as it is going to be our reference line. We will not be working on it. There is an error which makes our sketch to be over-defined, so we will just revert back. Else we will we can just leave it as it is. Now we will draw another horizontal line, and which will be parallel to the below line, but but it will be a few more length. Let us say around 12 inches. Now what we will do, we will define the distance between them. Let us say around 10 inches. So by keeping the lengths different, we have got an angle at the box. So we do not require to define this line as it is already defined. Now we will proceed towards the creating our cockpit of the driver. So now we are required to make the firewall. Firewall is a sheet or a boundary, which we can say, which prevents the cockpit of the driver from the engine compartment. So I think we can just start from there. Now it should be around 1 meter. We can trim this line, and now we can I think we are in a situation that we can make a side view of our vehicle. I think now we are able to see our vehicle is starting to take shape. It will be good around here. We can define it also. Firstly, give an angle. Let us say around 125, and now we can give a dimension to this. Let us say 925. See, if we just ignore these 4 circles which are representing our tires, we have fully defined our sketch. Now we will make another horizontal line through this point. It should be about this length. We will make equal relation to it, and we will join it. This member is called front bracing members, as this vehicle has a tendency to roll over. So during the impact, they are the front bracing members. They will brace the structure of the whole vehicle. So they are called front bracing members. Now we can proceed at the back also. Similarly, just like we did earlier, we can make the horizontal line. We can make it equal to this also, and we can join it also. Our hope is about to get ready now. we can make a line at the base. It should be around 11 inches. Now we will complete our firewall. We can dimension it also by giving length, let us say about 16 inches, or let us say 18 inches, and giving an angle, let us say 135. This point is, these two lines are not defined, as we are able to move this back and forth as they are in 3D. So what we can do is, firstly we will revert back and we will join it sideways by horizontally towards the center line, and see, it has make these two lines defined. We can make it, it is on us, like whether we want to use this line or make it a reference line. We can make this line a reference line by still maintaining our geometry to be fully defined. Now we can join the lower base as our firewall is done, and we can join the side members through this point to this point also. Our front cockpit is almost ready. Now we can make some additional members through this point to this point on this line anywhere. This will like we will drop this line when this line will turn orange in color, as if I keep the line in this axis, it is not intersecting or not touching the black line here. But if we move the mouse here about, it is turning orange. That means this will create a point over this line and it will be coincident on this line. So we'll drop this line here. You can see it from side view also. Now, in order to define it, we can define it by assigning a angle between these two lines or defining the distance between these 2 points. For now we will just define the distance, let us say about 450, and we will make another line just below it to give support to the structure. We can define this also by defining the distance between them, let us say 485. See, we can this line is not looking horizontal or straight. We can reduce the distance by using to 450. Now it is pretty much straight, and now we can our cockpit is ready where the driver will sit. Now we can add some additional members, or you can say bracing or supporting members. We will just rotate the view and see where we can make. Now this point can be connected to this line, and it is already defined as our whole sketch is defined. It gives you an advantage. So we will now let us proceed towards the back. This will be the rearmost point of our vehicle. So we will click on this point and make a horizontal line. We can dimension it as 9 inches, and we can join it from here. Uh, from this point to this point. Now we can proceed to make vertical numbers. Now this, we will create a vertical line by clicking on this point, and we will just make a vertical line. We can dimension it as per, let us say it will be around 450. We can join this point to this point to make the side member of the rear, and we can join this point towards the topmost point of the firewall. Similarly, we can create a reference line at the back for our purpose. We can join this point to this line to make a linear horizontal number. Now see, it is not completely horizontal, so we can just select this line and make a relation to it by clicking on the along z axis. See, it has made our line horizontal. Now I think our sketch is done, so we can just exit it. See, it is very simple. It is a very simple structure we have made by the use of 3D sketch feature in the Solidworks. It is only the half part I was going to tell, but for the sake of interest, I kept the video going and didn't disclose it. So we will now add the piping, the pipes of a certain dia and a certain amount of thickness to these lines. We can add it. In numerous ways. Like we can add these lines using swept or swept base, boss base. But SolidWorks has a smart feature in it which we call weldments. So we are going to add a pipe to this structure by using weldments feature. So as we have completed this sketch, we will now use the weldments feature. So click on weldments and click on structural members. Now here we can see first option which we see is of ISO. We can change it to ANSI inches. So we will see what it gives to us. Now we want our pipe to be a circular cross section, so we will just select this option, and SolidWorks has predefined sizes of certain dimensions like dia of 0.5 inch and thickness of 40.40 and dia of 1 inch and dia and thickness of 0.40 inches, 0.40 inches. We can select this option. Now firstly we will create the base. We will select the base members, so in continuity. So firstly select this member and see what happens. So as we have selected, the software has created a preview. It has generated a preview of a pipe, how it will be looking. Now we will select this member. See, it has created a gap, a grooved member. It is a angled groove. Now we will join this line in continuity and further this line. Now we want to select other members, but they are not in the same continuity as these lines are. So we will just make a new group and select the other set of lines, and we can select these lines, this hoop here, and we can select a new group and we can go for this one, and we can again go for this one, and we can create another group as per our choice. No, we will not want this to be created now. Firstly, we will create the side members. If we create a new group here and another one, we can see there is a deformity, so we can correct this. There is a gap. This groove is not completely making its profile around this pipe, so we can click on this small corner treatment button, this pink and blue dot. We can click on it and we can just check. We can treat it. We require to treat this groove, so we need to check which member is this. It is group 3, and it has a trim order, so we will alter the trim order and see for us which will work. We will reduce the trim order. The 1 and 2 are looking good, so 1 is looking nice, so we will just check it, and we have altered the groove here. Similarly, we can do for other grooves also, like here. I can show you again. This will be I think group 3, yes, so we can alter this groove. See, trim order 1 looks good, but it is going straight into inside the groove. We can correct this also by trimming this pipe, this extra amount of pipe which is inside now. For now we can click this tick button, and there are few more lines which are required to be covered. So we will make a group and cover all horizontal lines. This one, this one, this one, this one, and this one also. Now only two more are left. We will make separate group for them, as we want the continuity to be broken, as there is a pipe also. Here again the gap has generated. We can create it again. We will see it is again group 3, so we will just alter the trim order and see which one works for us. It is looking good. We can check one also. It is going inside the groove, or say inside the pipe. So we will just keep the order second one, and we will just check it. Now we have created. We have covered all the lines. We will just say yes. The software will now create the pipe. See, the software has created the weldments. This model will be looking inappropriate, but we can make it correct. We have an advantage here. Our model, our 3D sketch is fully defined and is symmetrical. So if we can mirror this part about this front plane to make it appropriate. So we can go straight to the features option, and we can click on the mirror feature. Click on the mirror feature and select the mirror plane, which will be our front plane, as it is a body. So we will just select all the bodies one by one. These are solid bodies, so we will just ensure that we select all the pipes. As we have selected all the pipes, the software is generating some preview here. We will now just click it, and the software will do the work for us. Now our frame is ready. So by using some simple smart technique of sketching, we can create complex 3D frames, 3D structures in the SolidWorks. As you can see, if I just suppress these two features, we will be able to see how we proceeded and how we ended up making a 3D roll cage or 3D frame, 3D chassis of this car, an ATV vehicle. So that's all for the 3D sketch.